Michigan beat Indiana 90-60. Here's IU head coach Tom Crean on the blowout.
As bad as we played at the first 7 minutes, it was a 1-point game in the last 13 minutes of that half. And still, at no point in time in the game was our aggressiveness defensively ever enough to stem the tide. It wasn't the offense. I mean, we shoot 54%, but it was definitely a lack of aggressiveness, and there's no excuse for it.
Scott, when you check out the Big Ten standings, Indiana in the middle of the pack, 4-4 in the Big Ten. Legit or nah, Crean has the hottest seat in the Big Ten?
Yeah, legit.
Okay.
And I think that's been the case for most of the years he's been the coach. He signed a 10-year deal out of Marquette because of the Calvin Sampson controversy, and they needed somebody they could rely on in terms of at least integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is he a stress ball the last 3 minutes of most games? And it appears that he doesn't coach to his full ability because of it. It sort of gets in his way. His emotions get to the best of him. Yeah. And I think it's a big reason for why they haven't seen the Elite Eight. And Indiana, in my opinion, has different standards than all programs in the Big Ten. I'm not saying they're the best program in the last 15 years, but I still do think that at the end of the day, you should go to Indiana over Michigan State if you're from Indiana. And if you're in the Midwest, you should be going to Indiana before Notre Dame and Michigan State. And that the only school you should be thinking of over that, if you're excluding the Atlantic Coast, is Kentucky. And it's just not happening. He's had decent crops of recruits.
Yep.
He developed Victor Oladipo really well. Cody Zeller was a top recruit, but he's dealing with 3- and 4-star recruits where I just don't think he's recruiting as well as he should, and they just don't win close games. They've actually won close games decently this year. They don't have enough talent. They don't have that much of a team of depth. They don't have enough of the criteria to succeed in the tournament. They're going to make the tournament. They're not going to have a great seed. It's going to be very difficult for them to reach the Sweet 16. And they're at a point now where if they fire Crean, we're nearing the end of this 10-year deal. Like the hot seat. There are multiple websites counting down.
Really?
Not only when the 10-year deal's done, but when different clauses eliminate more of guaranteed contract.
So they wouldn't have to pay him as much when he gets fired.
A guy who spent 9 semesters at Indiana, I can tell you that it's one of those schools that you need to be great every second.
Yep. And expectations are different.
Short fuse, short leash. I'm amazed he's stayed this long.
Yeah, that is a question. Some people wonder how he has survived. I mentioned you before, lost OG Anunoby, a key piece for the rest of the season. So how will they bounce back? They had won a couple of games going into this Michigan contest, but certainly did not get the job done